You're listening to Tavern Sports Radio Network.
Show me the money! Show me the money!
Show me the money. Welcome back to episode 22 of Show Me the Money. We are back with, it's kind of a slow week. We're not going to lie. Super Bowl is next week, so it's going to be a little bit better next week. We'll go over it a little bit today. I would prefer to wait until next week to kind of talk more of the props, the lines. And I'm not sure how much we'll talk about college basketball next week with the Super Bowl being on Sunday. I think that's kind of on everybody's radar as a Super Bowl. So tell me I'm wrong.
You're not. Probably going to be a light college basketball slate. Well, I mean, Saturday will be packed, but Sunday's going to be all football.
This Saturday is really the college basketball slate to look at. There's a hell of a lot of games that are really good. And we'll talk about that here coming soon. But let's start off with some Major League Baseball news. I know Josh wanted to kind of talk about it earlier. The Orioles ownership has sold to private ownership. So that's big news coming out of baseball. The Orioles
you guys see like the terms though?
I see. So I hadn't looked at this all that much.
So the guy that bought it for over $1 billion, he does not legally acquire the team until the current owner dies. He has zero control over the team.
Oh,
which
interesting.
I guess it people are surprised that the current owner is still alive anyway, because I think I saw somewhere he hasn't been seen since 2019.
Which is uniquely strange in the sense that the Orioles actually had a good year. They won over 90 games. I mean, they won 90 something games. They were at the top of the AL East. I guess they weren't the number. Were they the number one team? I can't remember.
They were.
They were the number one team. Yeah. So that's a team that I think at this point we all expect to be at the top of that division for a long time. Not that there are not other good teams in the AL East, but I think the Orioles, with the hype that they've had from the young players, the hype that they have had from new signings. Recently, they just traded for Corbin Burns, which is awesome.
I didn't even know about that.
I'm super excited to see this Orioles team. They're going to be electric next year. If I just saw a post before we came on the podcast, if Corbin Burns and God, I can't even remember what the other guy's name was. One of the other pitchers from the Orioles, had they been together last season, they would have had the number one ERA for the best duo in baseball. So, though, I mean, that as a 1-2 knockout punch is going to be unreal. Plus, you have young guys like Grayson Rodriguez, who had a great year last year and is only going to get better. As well as all of the prospects that they have coming up soon. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, not only with that, but they acquired Corbin Burns and didn't lose any of their top 5 prospects. They've signed Craig Kimbrell. They inked a 30-year deal to stay in Baltimore, and they still have the number one farm system. This team's going to be a problem for a very long time. They have the prospects to sell if they want to make a big splash, but they just made their big splash. They needed a starting pitcher. They needed an ace. Corbin Burns can be that guy. So, I mean, he's been dominant on the Brewers for a while. Super well respected, but I think he's going to have a blast out there in the AL with Baltimore.
Yeah, he said that he saw that trade the minute he got the phone call from the general manager of the Brewers. He knew that he had been traded. He told his wife, "Baby, I've just been traded," and picked up the phone call, gave her all the info afterwards, and figured it out with his agent as well. But he said it's a whole new experience now that he's on a different team. So we'll see how that plays out. Josh, did you have something to say?
Well, just back on like the sale.
Mm-hmm.
I did a little Googling. Peter Angelos, I think is how you say the last name. He's the current owner. He's 94.
Okay.
Or I guess former owner, I guess legally. I don't know.
I'm putting a hit on him.
Yeah.
But Cal Ripken Jr., Grant Hill, and Michael Bloomberg are all part of the new ownership group.
That was the next part that I was going to say was I saw that Cal Ripken was I don't know how large a percentage, but I saw that he was one of the new part owners, which as an Orioles, if you're an Orioles fan, that has to be one of the best things that you've ever read in your life.
Well, I mean, controlling stake is owned by David Rubenstein.
Okay.
Which I mean that doesn't mean he owns 51% of it. It means he owns more than anybody else, but
right. So I'm excited for that. Honestly, if you asked me to put money on who's gonna be in the World Series this upcoming year, I think your top two teams right now are the Orioles in the AL against the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Not the Cardinals?
Bro, the Cubs are coming in with the top 7. They have the most number of top 100 prospects, so we're gonna come in there and shove it up their butt, and we're gonna win it all.
Yeah,
I will
I'm
say,
just saying, if you're putting, I mean, the Orioles are probably worth a sprinkle. Their line movement with the signing of Corbin Burns, they went from 88.5 win total to 91.5. So, I mean, the books respect the move, but it might still be a little far off for a World Series push, but maybe worth a sprinkle, but I wouldn't go out there and lay, a ton on it. It's a 162 game season. It's a lot of baseball. Injuries happen, but they're a much better price than the Dodgers right now. The Dodgers number is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, but I mean, Diamondbacks made it to the World Series, and I don't even know if they had 80 wins.
They were an above 500 team, but not by much. They barely made the playoffs. They actually, I take it back.
Shouldn't have made the playoff.
The only reason they made the playoffs is because Parker, your Chicago Cubs outfielder, Seihei Suzuki, dropped a baseball. One baseball was all it took. The Cubs lost that game, and I think they had tied for the wild card, but they were the losing team in the wild card tie. So had Seihei Suzuki caught that final out, you guys make the postseason last year. The Diamondbacks don't go to the World Series. Think about how different that postseason looks from 4 months ago, man. Like that crazy.
I mean, we get knocked out first round, no question.
Yeah.
Nah, never. We beat Philly.
Guys, we are 9 days less than that. We're 7 days from the first team reporting.
Exciting.
Yeah. Yep. Pitchers and catchers report is really soon.
Well, that's what I'm looking at. The Dodgers report on the 9th.
Yeah, the end of February is usually right at the first spring training game. I know the end or the middle of March is usually the start of spring training. Depends on the year. And then by the end of April, they're full swing. I know I have I have a job opportunity that I'm taking coming up soon. So my baseball talk is going to diminish significantly in the next month. But the way that the season is working this year is it's starting a little bit earlier. That way they can finish a little bit earlier as well. So by the end of April, they're going to be playing regular season baseball. It's going to be a wild year. I'm super excited for it.
Oh
yeah, not to name names or anything, but one of the Show Me the Money boys is in the MLB. He's in the show. He worked his way there, so props to him. But baseball talk's gonna be a little different without him, but we'll get through it. Long summer, long summer.
I'm gonna cook up a Nerfy every week. I'm gonna try, dude. I'm gonna track the shit out of it. I'm gonna find a day where a lot of guys line up, and we're gonna nerf you. We're gonna put together a nerf you parlay.
Hey, all I want to know is this guy like a two pickle guy on his sandwich, or is he like a three total pickle guy? Or I was
So
just
So one of the things that I won't be able to do is talk any sports betting on baseball. I would still love to get a baseball podcast together. That's good. That would be completely different from sports betting. That has nothing to do with betting on sports. Has nothing to do with outcomes of uh outcomes of
You
our
just want to
bets.
talk.
Like
You just want to
nothing.
talk
Yeah,
it.
correct.
I get that because I'm the same. I mean, we've been wanting to get up grow the network,
Yep,
and I've been wanting to do something with football. It's hard to nail down a day and
correct.
another guy or two
So
for
so
consistent stuff.
we'll figure that out eventually. I hope that we get to that point, and I hope that this continues to grow in the sense that it has, because it has. Week one, you go back, I think we had the listeners were really just us. Like that was it. Um, and a lot of the editing that's been done and all that to other stuff. Like it's grown a lot. I'm really happy with it, and I hope you guys are too. We'll continue to grow as things go on, and we'll continue to expand our networks. Please reach out if you have interest in doing something too. We're all ears. We're all for ideas as well. So go ahead and send us a message at Tavern Sports on any of the social media apps that we're on. Beyond just the baseball stuff, let's get into our upcoming schedule. Let's go into NFL. I'm curious how you guys would like to do this, because I don't know if Cole and Clark would be on the podcast next week either. But are you guys thinking about talking props this week, talking props next week, and then maybe just talking some of the shits and giggles stuff, like
Yeah,
what
I
side of the
figured
coin
next
is gonna
week.
what
Yeah.
what
I
side
figured
of the
next week we'd kind of look at.
you
Oh,
can bet
I've
on what
I've
song
cooked up
Usher's
10
gonna open
parlays,
with.
and these are what I've cooked up, but I didn't think we really talked about it much. I mean, what you got the line here? Niners are favored by 2.
That's what it was when
And
I first posted it. And let's see, granted I had created this rundown on Monday, so it's the same. It's still -2 +2.
I got two and
Minus
a
two and a
half,
half.
two and
Oh,
a
so
half,
okay,
47 and a half.
different sports books, but
Yeah.
It's funny because we all watched a lot of Washington Huskies football,
mhm.
and they were dogs. The final, not written, but I guess the Pac-12 championship game against Oregon, they were dogs in the semifinal, and they're dogs in the finals, and we were all big believers in them. And Kansas City's this will be the 3rd week in a row they've been dogs. So,
And the 4th time that they've been to the Super Bowl in 6 years.
The Taylor Swift Bowl.
Yep. I saw somebody on Twitter post it's a red team versus a red team, Taylor's version. So this is the biggest money maker ever, for as big as any Super Bowl has ever been. This one will top them all, and I don't think that they will ever be able to compare it.
did you guys see the logo for next year's Super Bowl got debuted?
Oh boy.
Well, there's the whole thing with like the colors, which didn't happen this year, but this is the first year since they went to the new logo where the final 2 teams' colors weren't in the logo or something like that.
Yep.
You know whose orange was in the logo for next year's Super Bowl?
Chicago Bears.
The Chicago Bears, baby.
Nah, you're mistaking that for Cincinnati Bengal orange.
And then who's the blue team from the NFC? The Lions.
Chargers.
Is that your
Jim
prediction?
Harbaugh's Chargers. I think let's save most of the Super Bowl talk for next week. However, if you are favoring the 49ers, right now they're at 2.5. I would say wait. I think closer we get to the Super Bowl, you might see the Chiefs go up to 3.5. However, I doubt it because right now 70% of the bets on the spread are with Kansas City, and 77% of the money is on Kansas City. So this line opened at 2.5, and it's still 2.5 with all this money on Kansas City, right? Something the books believe in then is that this line needs to be 2.5. If there's this much money and they haven't corrected it all, there was a day where it went down to 1.5, wherever. But the fact that they brought this back to 2.5 and they're sticking to their guns on it says something, which I don't really love. I don't like that they're not adjusting and they're set in their ways, but maybe they truly think it's the 49ers year and they're loving having all the money with the Chiefs. They have the chandeliers and all the bright lights for a reason. So right now I'm kind of leaning the 49ers way, even though there's so many trends in the last 30 Super Bowls, the team wearing white wins. Well, that's the 49ers. But in the last 30 Super Bowls, if the team has had to travel west and a team has had to travel east, the team traveling west wins. So, I mean, there's all these different things. There's all these different little caveats that you're going to see and find, and they'll pop up throughout the week that are going to tell you one way or another. Every game is different. It doesn't matter.
I would say, just kind of going off what you were saying with the Niners, if you like the Niners, giving up 25 cents on the dollar to buy 2.5 points on the money line at -130, like that's pretty good.
Yeah. So what Josh is saying, for anybody who might be new or inexperienced, the Niners are -105 on the money line, -105 on the spread and -130 on the money line, which means for every dollar you bet, you would win 25 cents less if you take the money line. But 25 cents on the dollar is really not a whole lot. And I agree with what you're saying, Josh. If you're going to bet the Niners with the points, you might as well just bet them on the money line because it's not worth the sweat of 2.5 points.
And if the money stays the way that you're saying, Tyler, with 70% of the tickets on the Chiefs and 77% of the money on the Chiefs, which not only means your novice fun bettors on it, but your sharks are also on the Chiefs at +2.5. I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up at a 1.5. I doubt they ever give us a pick 'em in the Super Bowl, but a true 1.5, maybe.
For some reason, my body wants to tell me to take the under of this game. Just how well the Chiefs showed up against the Ravens.
The Chiefs are a very much so an under team.
The Chiefs are 6-14 to the under, and the 49ers are 11-8 to the over. So
that's just the way they both been playing. I mean, I feel like the Chiefs defense is really hot right now. I think they're going to draw something up, and I think Purdy's going to struggle. And he started to struggle that last game against the Lions before they finally found it and clicked, it seemed like. But also these two have offenses that can just destroy this over and make it look silly. So like it's at what is it at 47?
47.5.
47.5. Might be tasty to grab early before it changes. It might go up. It could go down, but
it's gone down a point since they opened. It opened at 48.5 on the book that I use. No shout out to them, but it's changed a line or a point on the book that the majority of us use. However,
you got it, sorry.
You're right, Parker. Like the Chiefs have been playing good, but their offense, you know what Mahomes and Kelsey can do, and Bucker can kick the field goals and whatever team comes out and sets the tone of this game. I think by 2 or 3 drives into the game, you'll know if this game's going over or under. If the defenses show up, yes, the Chiefs defense is number 1 in the league or number 2 in the league or whatever, But the Niners is still a good defense. They haven't been as great as they have been in the past, but they're still the Niners defense. They are a unit, a core. They're built for these tough games. We're either going to see it be a small, like, who can run the ball better, physical game, or it's going to be a shootout. So whatever defense or offense sets the tone, I think that's how the whole game goes. So that could be a good live betting opportunity. If the Niners play zone like they did against the Lions, though, Laporta went for over 100 yards. He just got lost in the middle of the field. And Laporta's a rookie, and he was great, and we all loved him, especially being an Iowa guy. But if they let Travis Kelce do that all game, yikes, it's going to be a problem. So,
See, I'd like to think that they won't. With Fred Warner, I think they're going to pay special attention to him. They have the secondary to do it. They have guys in the secondary that you can put one-on-one with Marquez Valdez-Scantling, with Rashid Rice, and you can double Travis all game. And I think that's where your defensive game plan has to start here, is if we're going to lose this Super Bowl, it's not going to be to Travis Kelce.
well, and that was the formula all year long. Teams deleted Travis Kelce, and then you got to beat the running game in a weak receiving core. Yes, they're in the Super Bowl, but all season long, the facts are the facts. It's a weak receiving core for the Chiefs. So I agree with you. If the Niners want to win this game, they need to go look at the weeks 6 through 12 on the Chiefs and see how everybody took away Kelce and made Rashid Rice, made MVS, beat them. Noah Gray, like all these weird guys who had no reason being a factor had to be a factor for the Chiefs to win games, and it wasn't Kelce. So if I'm the 49ers, that's what I'm doing. I'm taking away Travis Kelce, and I'm taking away the run and letting somebody else beat us, which Mahomes could do if the receivers catch the ball. But for the other side, the Chiefs have to game plan for a lot. CMC, George Kittle, Debo, Ayuk on the deep route. Like, yes, their defense is stout, but holy shit, what a nightmare to plan for.
Yeah, Ty, I that was one of the big things I've noticed is even the past couple of games that they've had for the playoffs, the Chiefs, their big factor was Travis Kelce each and every time, and never once was he really double teamed.
I think what was he the last game? Was it 11 for 11 with 110 yards or something like that with a touchdown?
With the first touchdown of the game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. He ran wild.
And the thing is, man, if you come out and lose to Travis Kelce, and the stats show that you lost to Travis Kelce, people are going to say, "Oh, well, what do the Monday morning talk shows are going to be, well, what do they expect? They couldn't stop the best tight end in the game. You knew it was going to him, and you couldn't stop him." Like, you're going to get dogged. Whereas if you take away Kelce and you can slow the running game down, I don't think you have to take the running game away completely, but you do have to slow it down. And then you get beat by Rashid Rice, MVS, and Noah Gray. Then it's going to be they took away the run game. They took away Kelce, and they still lost. So, and then the Chiefs are going to get praised, whereas your lack of game plan will not, instead of your lack of game plan getting bombarded.
My question, and then we can kind of hop off this for the week, it is just a little sneak in at the props. If the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, Ethan, who's winning MVP? Mahomes and Kelce, right?
Yeah.
Everybody agree to that?
Unless Chris Jones comes out and gets 2 or 3 tackles for loss, a couple sacks, and it's a 10-0 or a 10-3 game, yes.
Rashid Rice or fucking Pacheco would have to have like 2 70-yard bus runs or a 70-yard. You know what I mean? It'd have to be something crazy.
But
I think Pacheco could be worth a sprinkle.
Realistically speaking, though, it's probably Mahomes or Kelce. Kelce catches 2 touchdowns, and the Chiefs win, and it's probably Kelce, right? Mahomes has got one already. They might just give it to Kelce and promote the Taylor and Kelsey storyline, right?
Correct.
Yeah, they
It,
could.
it would honestly,
Kelsey-
if you're gonna
But
bet it
Travis
and you're gonna
has to
pick
have a
somebody
good
each
game.
team, I don't even think so. I think you.
No,
I
he
wouldn't even
does.
bet Mahomes. I would bet Kelsey because Disney, that's a contract between the NFL and Disney about we're going to Disney World. So Disney gets a little bit of a say in that. And think about Disney getting Taylor's boyfriend to say we're going to Disney World. Because if he's going to Disney World, guess who else goes to Disney World?
Well, what I
I
brought
don't
all
know.
this up for, right, is if right now you guys, everybody agrees it's either Pat or Travis. Pat is the favorite to win MVP, which is insane because the Chiefs are the underdogs. He's plus 135. Travis Kelsey's plus 1,700. So $10 wins you 170. $100 wins you 1,700, right? On the flip side, we're probably looking at Purdy, McCaffrey could go off, right? If
I think
you
it's,
think
I think I would go CMC. I don't see them winning without him going for 150 total.
I mean,
Yeah, it'd be a
CMC
stretch to give it to Debo or
If
Kittle.
if he goes for 150 and 2, there's no way he doesn't get it.
CMC's at plus 450, Purdy's at plus 200, Debo's plus 2,000, and George Kittle's plus 7,000. So if you're a 49ers better, if you're a 49ers better, and you say, nah, the money line at minus 130 doesn't really fucking tickle my fancy, maybe check out the MVP market and go sprinkle a little on Purdy, a little on McCaffrey, a little on Samuel or Kittle. Ayuk's at 4,500. I mean, those are good odds.
There's
And
not
if
a bad selection there.
Tyler,
no,
since
especially
you brought
because
us here, I want to bring up
especially because the underdog in the Chiefs, their quarterback's the favorite to win MVP. It has never happened where an MVP of the Super Bowl was on the losing team. So that's weird with the books. The books were either getting cooked on Mahomes for MVP, so they adjusted accordingly, but didn't adjust the money line. That's insane to me. So maybe look at that and see what you can do. But I like a lot of those
see
lines.
that you can bet Trent Williams at plus 75,000.
Yeah, I mean the Trent Williams and
What's the Taylor Swift stat line?
facts.
The sports book I use has certain, they're calling it Taylor Swift novelty props.
Oh,
Yeah. Let's see. You want me to read them off to you?
fudge, yeah.
Duh.
It says for the Swifties, 22. Any quarter to have 22 plus points scored plus 400.
No,
That's not enough
that's
value.
not
That's
that's
not
not
enough
enough money.
value.
That needs to be like a plus 1,700.
Now,
Plus
here's
1,500.
here's where it gets interesting. Anti-hero. Brock Purdy to have 250 plus passing yards and 2 passing touchdowns. Plus 200.
I still don't think that's enough value, though.
I like that one.
You could talk me into sprinkling that one.
I mean, yes,
I could throw 5 on it and be fine.
That's better than the first one, but
The
especially
first one,
the
you're
first-
talking four scoring drives, 3 of which resulting in a touchdown. Realistically,
well, my
Here's-
thing with that is if what is the sports book you use? What's the total on the game?
47.5.
So they're projecting almost half the points being scored in one quarter at plus 400. You said
now plus
That's a terrible
1,100 at plus
That's a
1,100, I'd
terrible
look at it.
Correct.
Yeah.
terrible bet.
Before we get off of the Super Bowl.
Oh, we're not. I'm
I-
not done
I-
with the Swifty thing yet, dude.
Oh, okay, sorry.
It keeps going. There's like 15 different things. All right, so there are actually like 6 different ones. So the next one is Deja Vu. Kansas City Chiefs to win by exactly 11 points. Plus
Why
3,000.
11?
I assume that's one of Taylor
4 years
Swift's
ago.
Deja Vu.
4 years ago, the Chiefs won by 11.
Correct.
Okay.
Taylor Swift's song "Deja Vu." It just that's what
I understand. It's all related to
Yeah.
her songs. I was curious why it was.
I gotcha. The next one is Fearless. Brock Purdy, 300 plus passing yards, 3+ touchdowns, and the San Francisco 49ers to win, plus 1,000.
Fuck, I'd
Uh,
hope they'd win if he's gonna fucking put up that stat line.
That's not anywhere near enough value for me.
No, that one's a loss.
Yeah. 15. Patrick Mahomes, 15 plus rush yards, 215 plus passing yards. This one I think is good value at minus 140.
Oh, that's good value.
That's
That is good
great value.
Yeah, that one's worth it.
I'm thinking about putting quite a bit of money on that one right now. Next one that we have is friendship bracelets. Travis Kelce, or I don't know how to say this next guy's last name.
What's
Jared
the first name?
Juszczyk.
Kyle Juszczyk.
Kyle Juszczyk. Thank you. First one to score, either one of them to score the first touchdown, plus 600.
Okay, you're really betting Travis
Kelce.
there because Juszczyk's the fullback.
Well,
but
what's Kelsey's first touchdown anyway?
hold on, I'll tell you.
It's plus 800. So just
Yeah,
take
he's
that
plus
instead.
100 right now.
I think that
No, that's first. It's for first.
that would be worth it. If you're gonna bet Travis Kelce to score the first touchdown anyway, I think you're much safer to go with that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
if you're wanting him
if
for
you're
first
gonna,
touchdown, that's the way to go.
if
Yeah.
you're gonna bet use check, you get it at plus 4,600. So
Yeah. Ethan, do you have any more of these Swifties? Because before we get off this, I just saw it's not even a novelty, but it's one of the weirdest lines I've ever seen before and I've never heard of, and I need to get it out.
There are, holy shit! I didn't know that there were this many more. I'm not gonna read all of them. There's
Just
a lot
move
of
on.
them, but we'll move on. There's one more. The last one is Gold Rush. San Francisco 49ers to score more than 40 points, plus 750.
not good enough. You want them to cover the entire over on their own? Get fucked.
Correct.
So the one I wanted to bring up, and then let's please get off this, right?
I got something I want to say about it.
Is about his or about the book?
No, it's about the game that I tried
Okay,
to say before
let's
he
hear
did his. Well, it's just that they said it during the broadcast. The Chiefs and Ravens were the number 1, number 2 defense going into that game. Whenever it's occurred 6 times in the past. Whenever that happens, the winner of that game wins the Super Bowl. So if you use that matrix, that would be the Chiefs. Yes.
This might be. I mean, we've all heard of the Gatorade color. We've all heard of the coin toss. We've all heard of the national anthem. Your book is having Taylor Swift. Everybody hears about, right, next gen stats. The sports book we predominantly use has a fastest offensive ball carrier recorded next gen stat line. So whoever runs the fastest with the ball in their hand during the game. The opening line is Deebo Samuel at plus 610.
Isn't IU traditionally faster?
Ayuk's plus 790. McCaffrey plus 730. Like,
well, yeah, that's just. I mean, it really could be anybody because, like,
it includes kickoffs, by the way, returners.
Is Ray McLeod going to return a kickoff?
Josh, I knew you would say that Ray McLeod is plus 1040.
I fucking love Ray McLeod, dude. I got lore on Ray McLeod, dude.
So that's just one of those weird things that's like, who's gonna run the fastest in the Super Bowl? And you're getting the opening line at plus 610. And if it's Marquez Valdez-Scantling, he's plus 1200. If let's say the Dolphins got here to the Super Bowl, Tyreek Hill would probably be minus 600. Like,
Well, A might be faster than him.
Like,
And then they have
Yes.
the one dude that's an actual fucking sprinter in the Olympics that returns their kicks for them.
all
Here's-
I'm saying
here's
is if
another
you're
one.
betting this line, you are personally putting up a chandelier in Vegas. Like, you are personally walking into the hotel the next time you're in Vegas and going, ooh, I put $100 on that. I put $100 on that chandelier. Like, do not fall for these novelty lines. Yes, they're fun, but like, come on. These lines, don't let the books take advantage of you. Make money on this Super Bowl.
Fuck that. Play the novelty lines and what makes them fun. What was the national anthem stat one you guys gave us? It's like a minute 22.
So that was
Yeah,
Cole
for
who
Dolly
had.
Parton.
Yeah, Cole had gave us the novelty stat of Dolly, or no, sorry, not Dolly Parton. Whoever's doing the national
It's
anthem.
Reba, right? It's
Reba McEntire.
She's done the national anthem 3 other times on camera. Every single one of them to the second was a minute 22.
Correct.
Now, I don't know if they were acoustic, if they were a cappella, if they were to a track. I don't know. Maybe that would be worth looking at, but this is the Super Bowl. So something tells me it's going to slow down a little bit. So, but it just kind of depends on where they put that line. If it's 130 or higher, under all freaking day.
Yeah, that was one of the things Cole mentioned for sure, was if it is a live band playing, bet the under regardless, because they will try and speed her up.
I think they would be the exact opposite personally.
I feel like it depends on the band.
122 is a very fast anthem. Wasn't
It is.
Stapleton's like over 2 minutes?
Usually they're like 202 to 210.
Still, Stapleton's still the best anthem to ever be done. But
Yep.
We're talking about all these lines though. They're fun.
Yeah, we're getting long.
Let's talk about lines that make us money.
dude, I can do this all.
That's what I'm saying. If we're gonna do this next
on the
week
Super
as
Bowl,
well.
one more thing.
Last thing.
Any player to get an octopus, so you'd realistically you'd be betting McCaffrey or Kelsey to get an octopus, plus 980. And an octopus is the player scores the touchdown and then also scores the 2-point conversion.
I personally won't be in on it because there was one last year, but you never know. However, things that genuinely make us money, besides last week, because you're all schmucks, is our lock of the weeks that we skipped over. And I will not allow it on the week we announced that I'm in first place. Went from last to first like the greatest Kentucky Derby horse of all time.
No, you went first to last, you fucking
I gotta win, you mother truckers. I gotta win.
Went from last to last season to first this season. 4-0. Okay. Pacheco had over 14 and a half carries last week. Parker broke his schneid. Last week. And it doesn't matter what everybody else had because you're all fucking losers.
Hey,
now, if Ethan, you want to read off the standings for us, I'd love to hear it.
Sure.
Who's in first?
I can do that for you. In first place, Tyler Hill.
That's fucking right, baby.
At 4-0 is Ty. Josh.
That mean does he have a loss this season?
We're through 4 weeks there, bud. Chill out.
Does he have a loss this season? Yes or no? Answer the question.
No loss yet.
That's what I fucking thought.
No losses yet. In second place is Josh at 3-1. I am right behind him at 2-2.
Didn't Tyler start last season like 5-0 though, for the record?
Tyler started last season 3-5. In the first, 3-2 in the first 5 weeks. The only person who started better was Parker at 3-1 and myself at 4-1.
I didn't hear
the. So you're telling me
the
right
winner's
now,
name.
if I win this week, I have the best lock of the week winning percentage to start a season of all time. No, I don't want to hear it.
You don't get rings like this one from the
Of
starting
all
the
time.
season strong. You don't get rings like this from starting the season strong.
It's
I got a fucking banner. And you fucking don't.
Of all time.
don't
I got a
fizzle,
banner in the
don't,
rafters, baby.
don't
This
fizzle
week,
out like the
5-0.
Dodgers.
This
Don't
week,
come too
5-0.
fast. Don't come too fast. We know it's
best
your
of all
issue.
time.
We know it's your issue. Don't come too fast.
5-0, best of all time.
Don't fizzle out like the Dodgers. Right behind myself is Cole and Parker tied at 1-3. And then Clark is down at the bottom, 0-4. I mean, if you're listening this week,
How the fuck did you get this deep into it more than anything, bro? We've talked about nonsense for an hour.
Fade Clark because that guy ain't hitting shit.
Clark's due. Clark is
granted,
due.
you keep betting on, you bet on Iowa State. You're not going to hit anything. So
last your week, life savings on Clark's lock this week.
Last week when we opened, I said I was gonna bet something crazy and wild. Well, I didn't because my bet that I wanted to bet was in our limits. It was gonna be on Tennesse, and the dude who won the Australian Open was gonna be the dude who I was gonna pick.
Jesus. Anyway, let's go into. We'll do with the ad read real quick right before we get into college basketball talk. This episode of Show Me the Money is brought to you by Tavern Sports, your place to get fun sports content, sportsbook lines, and parlays, and of course, food reviews with Big E's Ballpark Bites. You can follow Tavern Sports on Instagram at Tavern Sports 2023, TikTok at Tavern.sports, and on Twitter at Tavern Sports 23. Into our college basketball talk. God damn, is this the best week ever for college basketball? Not ever. I take that back. Not ever. But it's a damn good week for college basketball. Game number 1, Houston, number 4 Houston at number 8 Kansas. Kansas as a 2.5-point underdog at home. Give me Kansas at plus 2.5. Are you kidding me?
I love the Jayhawks with you, Ethan. Houston's just like not the same on the road. Their defense is locked down at home. Their offense, I mean, it's not explosive at home or on the road, but it really takes a hit on the road. They average 10 less points on the road than they do at home.
I'm gonna be against you guys. Give me Houston.
You're
Kansas.
disgusting.
Kansas hasn't really impressed me. I mean, you're telling me you can't go beat. I get it, Hilton Magic. Come on now. I mean, Iowa State usually has a good basketball program, enough to take away from them, but we're at that point in the season where you can't be losing games like that. I want to see Houston get a strong road win against a top 10 opponent right now and make their push for their so they can kind of solidify themselves as being one of the front runners for college basketball this year. So give me Houston.
I'm confused. Kansas covered against Iowa State.
Yeah, I know, but they lost.
They were the underdog.
They were.
Yeah.
We don't bet money lines around here often.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You bet spreads. They covered.
Yeah.
They covered.
Good teams win. Great teams cover.
They covered, but
They're
they
a great
lost.
team.
I had it written down as they were the favorites. That's what I was confused by.
No, Iowa State was -4.5. That's why I was saying that. If you're Iowa State better on the spread, that's tough because Kansas hit a last-second 3.
Tyler, where are you at on this Houston-Kansas game?
It's in Kansas, so I have to take Kansas strictly because they're the home team. However, Kansas is on a schneid, which they have to get off of at some point. Notoriously, Houston, great regular season team, terrible team, not a terrible team in March. They just can't fucking get it done. I think Kansas gets a chance here to say, hey, yeah, we lost on the road, blah, blah, blah. Fuck
Here
it.
we go.
We still beat Houston at home. Again, we talked about it last week. Quad 1 win opportunity, statement win opportunity, a chance to flip the seeding in March, currently is the number 4 team in the nation. Houston would be a 1 seed. If Kansas upsets them, beats them, there's a chance that you say Kansas is a 1 seed overall in the March Madness tournament, which, as we know, traditionally gives you an easier road. So I will take Kansas in a have to have it game. Kansas is on a downslope right now. They have to have this game in the beginning of February. Have to have it. So give me Kansas.
Yep. Let's go into our next game. Number 11, Oklahoma, heading into the University of Central Florida. UCF is plus 1.5 point underdogs.
Plus 2.5 now, my friend.
yeah,
Oh,
see
2.5 point. Okay, so it's changed a whole point by the time I have written this rundown, which was literally as we started the podcast. The lines come out like literally as we start Fridays. If we start recording Friday nights, so it's changed a whole point within 50 minutes or so. Ty, what are you thinking on this game?
So UCF 2-game losing streak right now. Oklahoma, they had a 2-game losing streak and they got off of it, right? We were talking about them last week with TCU. It was a big deal. Now they're on the road. UCF might not be ranked. However, at home, they're a problem. They have upset many people, but they still don't know who they are yet. However, at plus 2.5 at home against a ranked opponent, I think they pack the gym out and they get off this losing streak. So I will take UCF plus 2.5. And my main reason for it is top 25 teams can't win this year. They just can't.
See, I would agree with you if that one at the end of Oklahoma's ranking was a 0. If they were 10 instead of 11, I'd be with you all day. But they aren't.
Oklahoma's 23 in the nation now. After Oklahoma's number 23 in the nation.
What are you doing on the rundowns? This says 11.
Like I said, I did it Monday, and the everybody changed on
This
Tuesday.
guy
I forgot.
Stinks, man.
I edited some of them. I just didn't get all of them.
Give me Oklahoma.
Oklahoma is number 23 in the nation now.
Good. They're even further away from 10.
I'm struggling with this game a lot. I kind of lean more toward Ty, where UCF is playing at home, and they have upset some major teams this year. I think that's the way I would lean toward in this game as well. Give me UCF at plus 2.5.
I think you're on the right side with that one, my friend.
Next game that we have is number 16 Auburn at Ole Miss. Ole Miss 4-point underdogs. I think this is going to be a really good one as well. It's one of those, another one of those would be, I think, at least better in football, but it's just as exciting, or at least close to it, in basketball. So Josh and Ty living in kind of that area of the SEC. What are you guys thinking with this game?
Auburn smacked the fuck out of Ole Miss 2 weeks ago. They're going to run it back.
Ole Miss is at the right time warming up. They won the Egg Bowl of basketball, which is, of course, Ole Miss versus Mississippi State. Auburn, we talked about them last week. They lost at Bama. They ended up losing to
Mississippi State.
Who?
Mississippi State.
Mississippi State. They're on a long road trip.
Then they schlacked Vandy the other night.
Vanderbilt just needs to get out of the SEC and fucking join
Vandy
the Atlantic
needs to go down
10.
to D3.
Yeah, they need to join the Atlantic 10 or something because they don't belong in the SEC. That is
we get it. You're a good medical school and you play baseball pretty well.
I was about to say that
yes,
is the only reason that they are still there is because of
they
their
need to
baseball
keep
team.
the SEC
Yeah.
in baseball. However, and everything else they need to somehow drop to NAIA because they are pathetic. Guys, I'm time out. I got to get on a soapbox.
Jeez.
I don't care that you committed to Vanderbilt to play football. If I see you on Twitter and say SEC product, hashtag SEC product, SEC made, and you're at Vanderbilt, buddy, nah. All right.
You won one SEC game.
Yeah,
Chill.
go fucking whoop up on Valparaiso or whoever at the beginning of the season because you get your lunch money taken without the bully even fucking asking for it. All right. You're bitch made. If I see it on Twitter one more time, I might send out slurs. All I'm saying. Moving forward off of that, I think Auburn beats Ole Miss here. The cowbells will be loud. They'll be obnoxious. They'll be annoying. But
What if I told you Jackson Dart's gonna be front row?
he won't be. You're lying. Auburn has to get this win here to stay in contention in the SEC. It is tournament time. It's seeding time. We talked about it last week. Every game is important right now. Ole Miss is a good team, don't get me wrong. They started off the year on a crazy win streak. 4 points might be a lot. I would look at Auburn on the money line. They have to come out and shoot three well. When they they shoot the three well at home, but on the road against Bama, they shot the three like shit. I wouldn't say choked because they came back against Mississippi State and then lost it in the final minutes, but they choked and upset to Mississippi State. They need to get a win here on the road to show that they're not just a fucking hometown team. They have to get a road win. They have to save their ranking and they have to climb. All right. They're still going to be a good team. There's still going to be a problem in March, but they have to get this win. This is a must-win game for Auburn, and I will take them.
See, I was going to – because I hadn't even looked at that. I was about to say, you know what Ole Miss doesn't do? They don't lose at home. They're 13-0 at home this year. I didn't know that.
Some would say they're dues for a loss.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. I'm flipping. Give me Ole Miss. Plus 4.5. I'm flipping.
He got scared of the record. Ooh.
I'm not scared of Auburn's record. I'm thoroughly impressed by Ole Miss's.
That's what I'm saying. You got scared.
Josh, you're the reason Vegas has chandeliers.
You're right.
I'm gonna go
I
with
cook
Auburn.
up 20
That
leg
should
touchdown
be-
parlays that would pull everyone out of poverty if it hit.
So
what's our next one, Ethan?
the next
Well,
game
if Ethan wants to talk about that game.
Yeah, I lean more toward Ty. I think Auburn's a stronger basketball team. Obviously with the ranking it shows that. Ole Miss at home is tempting. I get they're heating up. I don't think they're there yet. I'm going to go with Auburn at -4. Next basketball game that we do have scheduled though is Cincinnati at Texas Tech. Texas Tech as the number 15 ranking. I did not see a spread for that one was the only issue. Do you guys see a spread for that one?
5.5.
5.5. Okay. Cincinnati has been similar to UCF. I feel like they've kind of been home wreckers this year. And that might be the way I lean in this game.
Come on, you're going with who?
Cincinnati, I think.
Over the Red Raiders.
Cincinnati's
Is it at Texas Tech?
It's in Texas. It's in Lubbock.
Lubbock? Yeah. Give me Texas Tech. Can't take it away from the Red Raiders like that. Not at home. Their barn gets rowdy at home.
Haven't lost at home yet.
Yeah, I'm going with Lubbock here. Give me
Lubbock.
Texas Tech.
Give me Lubbock.
Throw
So
them in a
I'm-
money line parlay for me, actually.
Am I the only one going Cincinnati then?
Looks like it.
Wow. Well, okay then.
Next, we have an absolute classic. Kids
Oh
have
my
been
gosh.
sleeping on the lawn in North Carolina for a semester and a half for these tickets.
This is going to be the best game that they have before March Madness. Let's all be honest. UNC number 3 at home, and Duke comes into town, into Chapel Hill, hoping to cover 4.5. I don't know. I don't think that they can do it. I'm gonna take UNC minus 4.5 every day.
This is a battle between blue bloods. Okay.
Former.
Duke, a former blue bloods. You are ridiculous. Do not fucking slander Duke or North Carolina like that again. I will not have it on
Put
this show.
Jaleel Okafor back out there right now.
I will not have that on this show. 16-4 on the money line versus 17-4 on the money line. 10-10 on the spread for Duke. 13-8 for North Carolina. North Carolina, we said last week, started the season a little rocky. That's where a majority of their losses came from. However, they have come back and corrected. Duke had a loss, 3 straight wins. North Carolina coming off of a loss. What is a better spot to come back and get a win in besides at home against a top 10 opponent? No better spot. No better spot.
Man, I see UNC. Well, yeah. Sorry. So you had UNC, right?
Yeah, give me UNC
Okay.
here. 4.5 seems like a lot. I think this game's going to come down to free throws. However, Duke's in this transition period. They've been in, last year and this year. They don't have the tradition. They don't have the structure. They're younger. North Carolina has had this squad for a while. Last year was disastrous. They turned down the NIT. This is the year that they come back as a unit and say, we're handling business. And there's no better place to handle business than Chapel Hill. Chapel Hill fucking hates Durham, North Carolina. I want you boys to know this is an in-state rivalry. Okay,
Mhm.
For everybody out there, they may not know, this is an in-state rivalry. This is a big deal. UNC at home has to get a win. They have to. But this game will come down to free throws. I will take North Carolina on the money line. However, if you're forcing me, gun to my head, to take a spread, I guess Duke, unless North Carolina wins the charity stripe battle. I don't want to sweat it. Give me North Carolina money line.
See, with all of the stats for against the spread, the record, North Carolina is 12-8-1 against the spread, 5-4 at home, that is. And then Duke is just 10-10 against the spread, so an even 500. And then 2-4 on the road for against the spread. I'm taking UNC even with the spread. In fact, I just put 10 units on it. So give me UNC the cover. My sports book happens to be at 4 points right now, so that's what I'm going to take.
UNC is the favorite, right?
UNC is a 4-point favorite on my sports book.
4.5.
Just depends on the sports book you use.
Yeah. I don't know. I like the UNC to win. But I could see him not covering, just it being a close game. But I would love it if UNC won and covered for you now. So give me UNC, but I was kind of on the fence of Duke keeping it closer than we think. But I don't know. UNC needs a pretty big win here, and this could be huge going forward for them with their seeding in the March Madness.
I mean, this is big for both of them for March Madness seeding. It's also for number 1 seed in the ACC. Realistically, as we're getting closer and closer to conference tourney time, so both teams got to get up for this. I mean, obviously they're going to have another meeting here soon. And probably in about a month. So that one will probably have a little bit more weight on it than this one does. Um, this is hard. Duke's
Yeah, it is
taken
a
the last two straight up, and they were both 60. One was 63 to 57. One was 62 to 57.
Yeah, but
Interesting.
like Ty said, that was against a UNC team that was not put together well, and seemed to be a mess all year.
Yeah, they had dudes fucking other guys or other guys on the team's girlfriends and shit. It was a weird year last year. So give them a break.
Yeah. No, I think I'll go with UNC. I mean they're 9-1 in their last 10. Their only loss in the last 10 was the other night to Georgia Tech by 1 point. I don't know if that was like a buzzer beater or how that happened, but we'd be remiss to not say Cole also likes UNC here. We all know Cole's a UNC guy, so we'll give him his flowers here, even though he doesn't want to show up and hang out with us.
Let's head into our next
Yeah.
game. Let's go into the next game. Big 12 game, number 12 Iowa State going into Texas to take on number 18 Baylor. Baylor a 3-point favorite. I am confused on how to feel about this one, so I'm going to let Ty take this one because I don't know where to even begin.
Okay, here's our storyline, right? Iowa State 16-4 on the season, on a 3-game win streak, just busted their nut against Kansas at home. Baylor 14-5, 3 of their losses coming in a row, followed by a win before this game, right? So out of their last 4 games, Baylor's 1-3.
Oof.
Baylor has to get this game to get right. The Big 12, though, is a nightmare. It's a suicide situation. If you have money on somebody to win the Big 12 tournament, your balls are the weight of stones. I don't know what to tell you. That being said, though, I think Iowa State blew their load against Kansas, and I think Baylor gets them on a win here on a hangover. Iowa State's going to be riding this magic high, but you can't stay hot forever, and there's no Hilton magic in Waco, Texas. The books have them favorited for a reason. A lot of money on Baylor. That I don't necessarily love, but I will take Baylor at home here just because it means more. The barn's going to be packed. The fans are going to be up for this game. Give me Baylor. I will, again, in this situation, not sweat the points and take the money line at -138.
I'm going to help you lock in your win here, Tyler, because I'm like a dumb dog. I've been beat and beat and beat, and I ain't learned my fucking lesson yet. I'm going to take Iowa State +2.5 here for the pure fact that Baylor, whether they're at home or on the road, cannot play defense. Their defense is so bad, especially compared to this Iowa State team, who's they're 5th in the nation on the defensive side of the ball, and Baylor's about middle of the pack, 135th. So that's where I'm coming from on this one. Give me Iowa State +2.5. Baylor's guaranteed to cover now. So
It's a tough
Thank you
one
for
for
your
me.
service.
yeah.
It's a tough one for me. Oh man, I'm still kind of 50-50 with it. Iowa State coming off a huge win. I think that they continue to have some magic, whether they're at Hilton or whether they're on the road. Baylor at home, they're a solid basketball team every year, no matter what. When March Madness comes around, that's generally a Elite 8 team.
See, whereas State looks great in the regular season usually, and then come tourney time, they're out before the end of the round of 32.
Correct. I think my only advice on this one is going to be to stay away from the spread. I don't think I can pull the trigger on either team, unfortunately. Even if you forced me, I don't think I could.
I mean, if
Parker.
we're gonna have, if you're gonna force me to take a spread, just because Iowa State did look really good against Kansas last week, I would take them to cover because I do think it could be a 1 or 2 point game. So, like, if you think it's gonna be a 1 or 2 point game, but you don't know who's gonna win, they're obviously the safe bet there. But I mean, I would rather see Baylor beat them by 25, but it probably won't happen. But well, I can hope. But I'm gonna go with Baylor, and I'm gonna take them on the points because I think they're a better team than Iowa State.
All right. Well, let's head into the next game. I'm going to call this one. I'm sure there's a name for this one already. I'm going to call this one the Battle of Whiskey. Number 5 Tennessee heading into number 10 Kentucky at +1.5. In favor of
I think you're
Tennessee.
close. I think they might call it the Bourbon Bowl.
Do they?
I think they might.
Okay. I like it. I mean, they definitely need to. So shit, this is no easier than picking Iowa State Baylor, in my opinion. You have the legendary Kentucky basketball team versus a very good Tennessee team every year. I almost feel like I'm picking a uniform right here. I'm gonna go number 5 Tennessee. Give me a uniform pick. I'm sure Cole will be really proud of that one.
Can we just take a second here? And Ethan did just say the legendary Kentucky team. Isn't it? Was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago, he didn't even know who Coach K was.
Yeah, he didn't even know who Calipari was. He
I
said,
just
"Who
know
is
his-
this
I
dude?
just know him as
He
Coach
said, "Who is
K.
that guy? I don't know
Who is that guy?"
I just knew him as Coach K. I don't know if I've ever actually heard his entire last name.
Oh, that's too funny. But anyways, segue to that. I kind of like this Rocky Top team. You know, they've kind of have starting to run away and kind of starting to solidify themselves as a team, and they're playing some good basketball right now. Where is it at again? Sorry,
This is
In
in Kentucky.
Kentucky.
it's in
Lexington.
Kentucky. Ooh, the Kentucky barn. That's a tough barn to play in. I guess it's really tough on the road, I think, in basketball. I think being in a home gym for basketball is really good environment. I guess just it gets super rowdy wherever you're at, no matter the game. And
That's college
Kentucky,
basketball, man. They're tight.
Exactly.
They're tight arenas, and
yeah,
you got student sections right there on the fucking
Exactly,
hardwood.
it's
Basically,
fun.
I mean, it's good atmosphere, but it's definitely hard to go on the road and win in college basketball.
it is.
Rupp
That's-
Arena is going to be crazy for this one.
You know,
Yeah,
I'm
I
looking
can
at
see
both
I can
these-
see why it's 1.5 point spread. But like at that point, you're just picking a pick 'em here, who's gonna win. But
I'm looking at both of these teams' last 10 and just kind of a callback to the last few episodes. You know who is just popping up nonstop, beating these teams that are supposedly good? South Carolina. I know I brought them up last week or 2 weeks ago for having a good win against a good team, but like this Gamecock squad, kind of impressive. 18-3 overall. One of their losses was a 5-point loss to Georgia. They got their asses handed to them by Bama. But other than that, their only other losses on the road to Clemson by 5, like 2 5-point losses and then 1 slacking. Like this Gamecock squad's kind of good.
There's no kind of about it. They're good. And they're a sleeper to win the SEC tournament. They're going to have to need a lot of help, but still a chance there.
But
To the
anyway,
game we are
yeah,
to the game
on this
we are
game,
talking about, though, I will take Kentucky on the money line at home. Rupp Arena's special, and both these teams straight up same record. Kentucky's a little better against the spread, 11-9 versus 9-11 for Tennessee. Something has to give here. Both these teams are over teams traditionally, but not by a whole lot for Tennessee. I'll take Kentucky at home. They need a big win. They need a statement win to let them know, regardless of Coach K being there or not, they're still a force. They're still needing to be reckoned with.
Give me Kentucky. Kentucky's crazy at home. They score almost 100 points a game at home. Third in the nation overall in offense. It's hard to beat that when they're at home putting up damn near 100 on you.
Let's go into the second to last Big Ten basketball matchup of the night. It is number 2 Purdue. It says at Wisconsin. This game is on Sunday, Ty, so there's no line for it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I see you asking why, when the game is. It is on Sunday. There's no line for it yet. But Wisconsin is kind of kicking ass right now.
No, they're not. They just lost to Nebraska. Remember when I told you about? When I told you about General so many threes?
So that game was interesting. Nebraska trailed at with 15 minutes left. Nebraska trailed Wisconsin by over 20 points at one point. Nebraska had come back all the way and not only won, but they beat them by like 9 or 10 points.
They won by 8.
Okay, so they won by 8 points. And it was a 1-point spread heading into the game. Nebraska scored 51 points in the final 15 minutes of that game. That is insane. Like, that's insanity.
Yeah, I mean, Wisconsin had a full melt. Granted, Purdue's on the road here. Wisconsin's looking to come back. Purdue's going to win this game. It's going to be a tight line because it's a top 10 matchup. Purdue's going to win this game. Zach Edey needs to make a statement here. I mean, he's dominant. We know that. Wooden Award winner, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. You can't lose to Nebraska and then have your next game be staring down the barrel of the number 2 team in the nation. There's no shot that Wisconsin wins this game. If it's anything above 5.5, I think I'll take Wisconsin. But anything below that, I'll give me Purdue.
I agree.
Am I crazy, or did I see a stat that said Purdue shot 40-some free throws against Northwestern the other week? Is that to their like 6 or 10 that they had?
They could have. I don't know anything about that.
But anyways, there's no reason why Purdue should lose this game. So give me Purdue on whatever they're at. They're probably going to be like a heavy favorite, probably 10 points or something.
I don't know. Top 10 matchup on the road, I doubt it's 10. But I mean, the books could be skewed with them coming off of a loss. There's a chance.
I don't know.
They beat Northwestern by 9. They beat Rutgers by 8. They beat Iowa by 14. I mean, this team's kind of hit or miss, but I think they get this win. They need this win. They don't play again until March 10th, and that's in Purdue, wherever the fuck they're at in Indiana. I think it's West Lafayette, Louisiana. I mean, not Louisiana, Indiana.
Indiana.
But they're good. I don't see Wisconsin bouncing back.
They play on the 10th of this month, not next month.
Yeah. Free throws. Purdue shot 29 of 46 compared to Northwestern 6 of 8. Yeah.
Not a good free throw team, but I mean, granted, no big guy is a great free throw shooter. You name a single guy who's over
46 attempts to 8 attempts.
Well, that's what I mean. How many shots did Zach? How many of those were Zach Edey, and what was his percentage? How many did he make?
I just never know how to feel about this Purdue team, dude. They're such a weird team. They come out and they always look good in the regular season. You get to March and Zach Edey gets shut down. They get punched in the mouth. I'm going to stay away from this one, honestly. I'm not even going to make a pick.
I don't blame you there. I mean, it's not March, though, so go ahead and give me the fucking Purdue team. I
I
don't see
agree.
Wisconsin bouncing back and beating them after blowing a massive lead, an all-time melt out of them.
I completely agree. I didn't think Wisconsin was all that great of a basketball team to begin with at the beginning of the season. Granted, they have proved me wrong the last couple of weeks up until, what was that, Wednesday? No, that was last night. I mean, that was less than 24 hours ago. So, yeah, give me Purdue. Going into the last game of basketball for the weekend, or at least college basketball, we have Nebraska taking on number 14 Illinois. Nebraska with that huge comeback, like we said the other night. I obviously we don't know what the spread's going to be. I assume it's going to be a little bit tighter after that win against Wisconsin. However, I'm whatever it is, I'm probably taking Illinois. And if it's more than, or if it's around 7 or 8, I think is when it starts to get questionable. I think I'd take Illinois up to 8.5 points.
Yeah, 8.5's a lot of points. But again, we were talking about Wisconsin blowing the lead to Nebraska. Nebraska, kind of, I have the same feeling about them as I do Kansas right now. They blew their load. They beat a fucking star-studded team. They beat a very high-ranked team at home. Now they're going on the road. I think they take the loss here. I don't know what the line will be. I don't have a guess. I would assume 6.5, 7.5 points would be where I would open it at. And I got to take Illinois there. Illinois is a problem for now. The Big Ten, they fuck up in the tournament quite a bit. But right now, I think I got to go ahead and take Illinois at home.
Yeah.
Anybody else on this one?
I'll take Illinois at home on the money line. I obviously, without knowing the spread, it's kind of hard. I mean, I don't even have a guess at what the spread's going to be. I have no idea.
Hypothetical, if the spread was at 7.5, where are you going?
Probably Illinois, but you're getting close to that number where I'd say that's kind of scary. I'd go somewhere else.
That was my concern too. Parker, do you have anything on this game?
No, not really. I don't. I mean, Illinois is probably going to win this game. They just are a better team than Nebraska at this point, but no, not much.
No worries. Let's head into one more thing before we have our lock of the weeks. NHL All-Star Weekend is this weekend. I wanted to touch on this because this is one of the greatest storylines up in Toronto this weekend is where the All-Star game is. There's a strip club up there. I can't remember the name of it, but also no free advertising. Go fuck yourself. There's a strip club up there giving
Strip
off.
clubs can get free advertising. Those women are working to put food on their children's table.
Fair enough. There's a strip club up there giving out free lap dances to all NHL All-Stars, with, of course, an ID required, only because guys like Connor Bedard are maybe not old enough to get in. I don't know what the age limits are in Canada, obviously, but
I would assume it's 18.
Yeah, I
know they let you gamble at 18 because a lot of people up in New York will go across the border on their 18th birthday and gamble.
Yep. Same thing in Minnesota. I mean, those guys might as well be Canadians. So, let's continue on. Hey there, sports fans. Are you tired of wearing the same old boring t-shirts? Well, we've got something exciting for you. Introducing the Tavern Sports Pocket Tee, where style meets passion for the game. Whether you're a diehard fan or you just love the camaraderie of sports, Tavern Sports has got you covered, literally. The best part, you're listening to Show Me the Money, and you can use the code $$ to get 15% off today. So what are you waiting for? Head over to tavern-sports.square.site right now and elevate your game day experience. Tavern Sports, beer, betting, sports. Lock of the week time. We had, obviously, we're missing both Cole and Clark this week. I know Cole's pick was originally UNC -5. Like I said, my sports book that I what do you guys want to give him?
I'm seeing him.
We picked it at 4.5, didn't we? So I think we just to him at 4.5.
Okay. Because I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna go with the same lock of the week. I'm gonna go with UNC, although I have it at -4 because that's what my sports book is, so that's what I'm gonna take it at. And whatever we want to.
Well, it doesn't seem fair to give it to you at 4 and him at 4.5. So
I'll put him down for 4 as well. Beyond that, Clark also left his lock of the week with us. His lock of the week was Tennessee -1.5 against Kentucky. So he expects Tennessee to head into that Bourbon Bowl game and cover as well. Ty, what do you got for your lock of the week?
Skip.
That's not how this works, dude.
Oh, God damn it. I'm currently looking at the PGA Tour lines again.
Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me.
Parker.
Give me Max Homa to beat Jordan Spieth in an 18-hole match bet for round 3 of the golf. -110.
That's a good bet. That's a good bet.
Parker, say that one more time. It was Max Homa
to beat Jordan Spieth in an 18-hole match bet for the 3rd round for golf. So which would be Saturday.
Okay.
You guys are sick.
All right.
I placed the bet so that way I can track it for us too right away.
Good.
And perfectly at the -150 line we set. If you go top in region under PGA Tours at the Pebble Beach Pro-Am, which is what Parker's also betting on.
Yes.
The top UK and Ireland player for the entire weekend. So Sunday we'll know Matt Fitzpatrick is -150 to beat Justin Rose, Tommy Fleetwood, Rory McIlroy, and Seamus Power. So Scotty's an American, don't you?
Time out. I didn't know this was only for those players. I thought you were just saying that's
top in region.
Oh, okay.
The top UK and Ireland player will be Matthew Fitzpatrick at -150.
I like that bet.
I'll send a picture of it to you guys and send it to you in the group chat. But Matt Fitzpatrick -150. That's my lock.
Cool. I like that. I do like that.
What you got, E? E, can't hear you. You're muted.
I forgot. I already went with mine. I went with UNC. I
You piggybacked with Cole. So down to me?
Yep.
All right. I just talked about these Gamecocks a little bit ago. They are dogs on the road. I got South Carolina +1.5 against Georgia. Georgia last 3 are -3.7 point differential, giving up 84.3 points on average. And if you look at, and the only reason it's that low is because they had a 68-66 win against LSU. If that game wasn't there, their average points allowed would be up in the mid-90s because they've had 2 100-point losses in the last 2 weeks.
So you took what? South Carolina minus?
South Carolina +1.5.
Oh, +1.5. Cool.
I like it.
That is going to do it for this episode of Show Me the Money. Thank you for joining us. We know that was a lot of college basketball compared to usual, and we are going to have all of the Super Bowl stuff next week. Thank you for joining. Show me the money.
Show me the money.